that
Things
these little
happen.
things, and then weeks and months go by, and no little glitches or no little, man.
Yeah, it's like I say to my husband when he's away from home, everything goes wrong at home.
Oh, the
It's just
geyser
typical.
bursts, the trains are blocked.
Yeah, no, it's just typical. So we are now live on Facebook. But yeah, thank you so much, Justin, for joining us today on the Marketing Lifeline's Friendly Fridays, where like-minded people come together and we like to share and share alike.
Awesome, Megan. Well, yeah, lovely to be here.
Thanks, Justin. And today we're going to be talking about how video can help you build your brand online with our video expert, Justin Sandmann from Sandmann Productions. I just have to share something with you because my brother was kind enough to take us to a beautiful place in Efteling in Holland. Don't know if you've ever heard about it. Mm-hmm. And there's a Sandman, that's one of their characters. So every time I talk to you, Justin, I think about the Sandman that I saw when we were in Holland. But in Afrikaans, he's referred to as Klaasvark. But he lives in a little sand house on the river. So it's just something I wanted to share because every time I speak about Sandman, it's like I think back to my days visiting Efteling. So I wanted to just share that with you.
Awesome.
Cool. So yeah, thanks so much again for joining us. And I'll just quickly do a short bio to introduce Justin before we kick off with a few questions. And it is quite a hefty one. And please don't get me mistaken if I pronounce any words or films incorrectly. Because some of them are a bit of a mouthful, but I'm going to attempt anyway.
It's a friendly Friday, so let's just keep it friendly.
Absolutely. Thank you. Cool. So Justin Sandmann is a filmmaker and videographer. Justin Sandmann graduated with an advanced diploma in film and television broadcasting as top student of the year in 2002 from Allenby Campus Centurions in South Africa. With almost 20 years industry experience, Justin has continued to follow his dreams and passion for storytelling and visual communication and worked for many media and production companies. In 2011, Justin wrote and directed his first short film, Ticket Enslandeni, which made the official selection for the Jozi Film Festival in 2011. In 2012, Justin decided to go on his own as a video content creator and started his own production company, Sandmann Productions. Justin wrote and directed the short film Puppy Love, as well as winning the Best Mobile Short Film at the Jozi Film Festival in 2012 for his short film, Today's Special. In September 2011, Justin began working on his next short film, 5 Clicks. Despite all the challenges with COVID, he managed to complete yet another passion project in June 2020 as writer and director. 5 Clicks has made the official selection for the Python International Film Festival of Africa in 2021. Sure. So that's quite an accolade behind you, hey, with film production, never mind just making videos.
Thanks. Yeah, no, awesome. Thank you, Megan.
Pleasure. Cool. So let's go on to videos because we're not going to be talking about film today. I'm sure that's one of your passions, but I know video is also one of your passions. And I think with the likes of COVID, it probably became a bigger demand as well. Obviously not being able to be on set. So tell us a little bit about how you landed up in TV production. And then obviously you have produced a number of movies. So give us a little bit of background and how you landed up here.
Oh, thanks, Meg. So essentially what happened was in grade 11, it wasn't called that back then in the 1990s or whatever, but in grade 11, one of our teachers was talking about what you could study in terms of the art or the technicon subjects versus the university. And he mentioned this strange thing called film school. And I'd never heard of a film school. I was like, no ways. And I put up my hand and said, what is a film school? No, that's where you learn to make movies. And all of a sudden my life made sense. I was like, oh my word, that's exactly what I want to do. I was about to go and study to be a CA. And I told my parents, listen, guys, I want to go to film school. And it took a lot of convincing. And they said, okay, fine, just go to an open day and see if you like it. And I took my dad, we went to the open day. And that was 21 years ago. So I haven't looked back. And even though film and video content is kind of different, at the same time, you're still telling a story. And that's what I realized as a filmmaker. Broken down to the core, we're actually just storytellers. Yes, we use visual communication, but essentially we're telling stories. And the amazing thing about telling stories is then you connect with people on an emotional level. And so that's essentially what I am, is I'm just a storyteller. So whether I'm doing a corporate video, a TV commercial, or making a short film, at the end of the day, I'm telling a story to an audience.
Okay, awesome. That's a nice simplistic way to look at it. Although some movies I watch, I feel don't have a story to it, but I know what you mean. So sure. So you were lucky enough also to leave school knowing exactly what you wanted to do. I don't think there's many of us out there that have an idea and then still convincing your parents from CA to filmmaker.
Yeah.
So good on you for doing that. So from TV production to video production, as we're calling it, kind of post-COVID and due to COVID, how's the demand for video grown naturally, organically, that people are now wanting content online and having something for people to be entertained with?
So yeah, Megs, it's a very interesting thing, because in some ways, filming on location and filming in person has decreased because of the COVID restrictions, because of social gatherings and all of that stuff. So that side of stuff I've seen a decrease in that kind of production. There are still a lot happening, but it's not as much as pre-COVID. But at the same time, because we're all isolated, because we're all sort of not as connected in person as we used to be, the demand for re-engaging with people has increased. And so how do I get hold of people who are sitting at home, working at home, on their devices, on their laptops, so much more than prior to COVID? And that's where the growth in video and content has exploded. I mean, video was already on a massive trajectory pre-COVID, and COVID in some ways has just sped it up by like 4 years. I mean, now everyone is on their phones, on their devices, they're at home, so you've got a much more I don't want to use the word lockdown, but they've
got nowhere to go, so they kind of have to look for they have to look at their phones for entertainment. And
so because of that, there's been such a demand for video content creation.
No, I can see it, and I believe it as well, because like I said, I think because people are stuck in a way, we are using our phones more. Not that it's always a great thing when it comes to family time, but we are, and we're on our phones and we want entertainment. So we know video gets more attention. So I think that's also why people are saying, well, let's rather do a video than just a regular post, because we know it will get more engagement and we know that more people will enjoy it, and there's the entertainment factor and all those great benefits. So before we get on to that, so why, in your opinion, is video so much more powerful than word? I mean, obviously you are slightly biased coming from your background of videography, but like really, from your opinion, what makes it so much stronger?
I think the power of words will never go away, and the power of word of mouth will always be the most ultimate way to get brand recognition. Because when someone says to you, you have to use my plumber, or you have to use my dentist, I mean, nothing can beat that word of mouth. But in terms of engagement, video is so much more engaging than words. I mean, words will always have their place. So, you want to read articles, you want to do research, you're going to Google something, you're going to Wikipedia. I mean, those things will always be there. But for me personally, and I see this moving more and more, becoming more and more of a trend, is that if I have to read a 3-page document or watch a 30-second video, which one am I going to choose? And people's attention spans are getting less and less and less. And so, I mean, I've been labeled as part of the MTV generation, but I can't imagine what the next generation. I mean, if we had a 30-second attention span, I think the next generation has a 5-second attention span. And so video is engaging. You can say a lot more in 30 seconds in a video than you can in a 3-page document. If anything, video is supposed to be the hook, the bite-sized information that will lead you to the website, or lead you to those articles, or lead you to find out more. And so I think video should never be used to replace those things. It should only be used to focus people where to go. And I think that's important, is if I want to find out something, or if I see an ad that really engages, really grabs my attention, oh yes, I want to know about that product, then I just Google it and then I can read about it. But I'm never going to go out there and try and read stuff if nothing's grabbed my attention. So video is such a powerful way of jumping out of the clutter, of engaging, being dynamic. It's got also the power of sound. So yes, sometimes videos don't have sound, and some platforms, the sound is muted. But when you add the power of sound to visual, you're engaging in so many senses that you can't beat it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you're right in saying drawing attention. You don't necessarily have to create a movie to get people to buy into your product. It's just some form of attention to get people to make the next move, so still keeping it. I kind of recommend to clients, have a nice balance, have some content, have some video, have some nice graphics, have a little bit of a combination. But agreed, video just works. And as you say, the attention span by far it's much easier to watch and listen than having to actually read something and engage with it. So tell me, how and where should businesses then use video to help them improve and get the visibility and awareness they want with these videos?
So I think the first and foremost thing is video needs to be used responsibly. And I think that there's a lot of myths and misconceptions about video. And I think personally, a bad video could cause more damage than not having a video. So yes, people need to get videos. We need to get our names out there. We need to get our exposure and all that stuff. But I think video needs to be used responsibly, because, it is so, once you make it live, once you put it online, once you share it on social media, it's there for the whole world to see. And so if that video is going to represent your brand, it's going to represent your values, your work ethic, your products. If people can see it's inferior, if people can see it's a rush job or slapped together or maybe even misinformation, then it's like, well, then what are you trying to say about your brand? So we have to really take video not overly serious, but we need to approach it from a responsible point of view, that it's not just something that you should willy-nilly do. You shouldn't also willy-nilly post anything. So I think there's a whole sense about, with digital marketing and social media platforms, a sense of responsibility. Yes, I have freedom of speech. Yes, I can say what I want, but is what I'm doing responsible with my brand and other brands? So that's the first thing. For me, then also video, how video should be used should be used to engage. I think it's such a wonderful way to engage with people. Not to say that pictures and text and tweets and all that stuff is not engaging, but video it's such a beautiful way to engage. It's also such a wonderful way to educate. Like I said, again, if I want someone to read 3 pages about my product or watch a 30-second ad, it's going to be a lot easier to educate them on a sort of a high level stuff. You can have longer videos that can go to more depth, but because it's so visually stimulating, it's such a great way to engage. And I think the third thing for video and where consistent marketing, and this is where the likes of you come in, the real experts behind this, is consistency builds to trust or leads to trust. So whenever you're taking on video from a responsible point of view, always think of what's the long-term plan. And so that's why guys like me really need guys like you, because yes, as a video content creator, we need to understand marketing. We need to understand the power of marketing, but at the same time, we should never try to be marketers. I think it's so important to connect with the likes of Marketing Lifeline, because once you start to have a vision and a plan, then the video, it's like you need the healthy food, but you also need a diet plan. It's no good having healthy food and healthy recipes without a dieting plan. And so for me, marketing and video, yes, like the lines are becoming very blurry. It's like, are you a marketing or are you a content creator? But at the same time, it's so critical to know that there's marketing, and then you need a strategy, you need a vision, you need a purpose, you need all those goals, and then you need someone who can do the content. And that leads me back to why video should be used responsibly, because when you have the right, it's like, they always say, with this diet product, always use in conjunction with a low kilojule diet. It's like, you need a diet, but you need to have someone like a dietitian to say, listen, dude, just don't chow those things because they're not good for you. So there needs to be like a plan, a proper approach, a vision. What's our goal? And then the video should follow.
Yeah, no, I think we've also had this conversation before where you've done videos for people and it's such amazing work, and then it sits in a file on their computer because there is no vision. You know, they want to tell everyone about their product, but then actually putting it out there and getting the longevity that it deserves, or at least the airtime it deserves. Because I mean, I've seen your work; it is amazing. You've helped me with my videos, so I understand what you mean. I think sometimes people have to rather have a long-term approach before just going ahead and creating videos, because once we've got the videos, now we need to know what to do with them, I guess. And very good point on being responsible. So, you know, obviously there's a whole thing about kind of Facebook Live, as we're busy doing now, and me on LinkedIn Live, and, you know, doing all these crazy videos, and it's great, you know, and I think it's another form of video making. So it's by no means professional, promotional in that sense, but it's building my brand and credibility, people getting to see who I am, what I'm like, and as you say, saying what you feel. But again, just being careful about what one does put out there, you know, and obviously being aware of your environments when saying things and what you're doing and all that. So that's a good note to know to our clients as well, is that being responsible is just as important about putting information out there and what are we actually saying.
So the thing is, Megan, with video and content creation, the barrier to entry has become a lot less. So yeah. 10, 15 years ago, to be a video content producer, you needed a big studio, you needed a backing, you needed a lot of equipment. Now, with a smartphone, I'm a content creator, and yes, we're getting amazing content just from people's smartphones. But I think the important thing is to understand the why. Mm. What is the why for the brand? What is the why for the business? Understanding the why, because that's always your North Star. So making videos here and there and you're just flooding the market with content. Yes, it's great, and you might get a good SEO results, but are you really speaking the right message? Are you really being responsible? And so that's why having a marketing plan, having a marketing vision, understanding that video isn't something that removes marketing or removes previous ways of marketing, like words and stuff. It's just an added benefit. And so you need to have a purpose and a vision for your video. What is the why? What is the why? I mean, top of my head, BMW. I actually watched a video, one of their ads the other day, and they didn't say any facts. It wasn't about their fuel consumption. It wasn't about how good the brakes are. It wasn't what the speed was from 0 to 100, whatever. But it's just sheer driving pleasure. That's the why. That's always the why. Why buy a BMW? Sheer driving pleasure. And so for me, there's always a responsible approach. There's always a responsible approach to a brand, because the brand has value, and yeah.
And being consistent and bringing that through in the videos.
Absolutely.
So in our last question, in terms of video, what do you see as being like the most popular form of video that people are using or interested in for marketing?
So yeah, a good kind of video is one that's effective. And I think this is where, again, having an understanding of your why and who that why is speaking to. Okay. So there's a lot of different videos that speak different messages to different people. So understanding your target audience, understanding who you want to communicate to. So if you are a health and safety company, the type of video that you would speak to, the type of video that you would make would be more of an educational type of video, because what you're trying to do is trying to educate people in the health and safety of your business. If you're trying to promote a product, then a promotional video or a TV ad would be more effective, because you want to promote something specific. A startup, for example, a small business who's starting up might want to create an overview video. Hey, this is who we are in 60 seconds. And so understanding the types of videos, because not all videos are created equal, and not all videos are equal, because they all serve different purposes. And also the platforms that we use for each video is also different. So if I was going to do a accounting tax video for professionals, LinkedIn would be a really good place to put it, because that's the kind of people I want to attract. That's the kind of people I want to talk to. But if I'm promoting a really cool holiday package in the Seychelles, I'd probably do it on Instagram and Facebook, because that's the kind of audience that I'm looking at. And so for me, the best kind of video is the effective video, the video that speaks effectively to the right target audience. And you can't just make a blanket video. I mean, yes, Coca-Cola makes really good ads, and it speaks to the general public. But at the end of the day, you got to go, who are we aiming to reach? And then that will guide you in terms of what kind of video then would be the best. If if it need to explain a lot, then maybe we need to create a longer video or a series of videos.
Yeah, definitely. I think Coke's brand is so strong that you just see red and you associate it with Coke. Whereas unfortunately, most small to medium-sized businesses or just starting out, one has to kind of go back to basics, as you say, get that message right, talk to the specific audience that you want to talk to, and make it interesting and engaging for them, whether, as you say, in different types of forms on different platforms. We kind of need to go back to basics, but again, also consistency. So not doing one video once in a blue moon and then, not doing it again, or not updating it, and, kind of that kind of thing is very important as well. Awesome. So I actually had another question with regards to platforms and stuff. In terms of video, is it quite acceptable to share video across all different platforms? So I know you said obviously some are more relevant, but can you share videos onto like the likes of it's like TikTok and all that? How does that work from a kind of this generic video that we would post on Facebook? Can we obviously share onto Facebook, LinkedIn, and TikTok, or is that not advisable?
So please excuse, I'm revealing my age here, but I don't know too much about TikTok. But Facebook and Instagram, I'm okay with that. So I think whenever you're approaching something, again, it comes back to this responsible approach of who we're trying to talk to. So if I know that we're trying to talk to people on Instagram and Facebook and potentially TikTok, then at least then I know our departure point. There's nothing worse than saying, let's create a video. We create a landscape portrait, a landscape aspect ratio. And now it's like, but we want it on Instagram, square would be much better.
Yeah.
And then we have to crop. And so for me, it's always, I want to take steps back and go, okay, wait, who are we talking to? If it's a cross-platform thing, then we design and create the video with that in mind. So okay. I think, again, it comes back to that responsible approach of course, we can have the same video on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. If we know that that's the deal. Yes, certain platforms require certain aspect ratios, file size, pixels, all that jazz. And it's knowing that if you know that beforehand, then you can sort of create the right kind of content that's going to then plug into all of those platforms.
But you could advise the client and tell them these are the requirements for each of the different platforms.
Yes.
And another great thing to remember is if you create a 3-minute video, Justin has the capacity to turn it into a number of different second videos, which are better for kind of more lead magnet marketing and to get that engagement and action, as you spoke about earlier. So that's a great thing as well that people should remember. It might be a bit of a cost investment up front, but you've got content for a long time because you can repurpose some of that as well. And by creating these bite-sized pieces, it's also very consistent and creates a very strong message. Awesome. Thanks, Justin. Thanks again for joining us today. I'm definitely still just getting used to this whole video thing. Even my lighting today, I was like, shucks, Justin's on show today. Is my lighting sufficient? Because Justin's done my videos for me. So, I'm aware of this now, but unfortunately, I think there's still a number of us out there that need a few home tools, DIY tools, just to have decent webinars with some lighting. But if you need any professional work done, I think Justin's your man. He has got the skill set to make stuff amazing. So
I think your lighting's better than mine. So you've just embarrassed me.
Are you serious? Is it better? I'm super chuffed because Anyway, thanks so much, Justin. And as for next week Friday, I'm actually on leave, so I'm going to be interviewing myself. So I'll be going live next week Friday at 12 o'clock for Friendly Fridays. Just giving you a little bit of background about me and where I come from and what my plan is with the Marketing Lifeline and how I can help businesses. So that's me for next week. And then we'll be joined the following week by Caroline. And then as we'll go on again from there. So thanks again to Justin. And then I'll see everybody same time, same place next week, Friday. Cheers for now. Okay.